my name is Cathy and in this video I'm going to talk about Dear Reader by Cathy Rentzenbrink. This book I buddy read with Linda from Linda's Older Books, and this is kind of a memoir regarding Cathy's life with books and her life working in a bookshop as a bookseller, I suppose. And Linda and I read a couple of chapters of this each day, but because the chapters don't have numbers, we went a little bit out of sync. But yeah, so this book, I enjoyed it in the beginning, but later on it became less enjoyable because the books that she talks about are usually not books that I've read and nor books that I'm interested in. They're mostly older books from what I can tell, and I don't tend to read a whole lot of really older books. And they're also more British, I suppose, and I don't really read a whole lot of older books, like I said. So there were some I recognized, but not lots. I did find it really interesting to read about her, like her book selling career and her, I don't know how much is a spoiler with the memoir and how much is it, like, let's say her own personal family life. Let me put it that way. With some of that was nice, but it was a struggle to read through it in the end. And it's weird because the beginning went quite quickly for me, but then towards the end it started to peter out and I struggled to get through this. I know Linda felt the same. Now I actually won this book in a giveaway. I think that people from Britain who love to read will get a bit more out of it, or at least recognize maybe more of the authors. Some of the books she mentions, she described what they're about, which is sometimes interesting and sometimes less so if I'm not interested in the book. And if I've already read the book, then just hearing what it's about is less interesting than to hear how she felt about it, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. I do like the way the cover feels, but yeah. I think it took me about 12 days to read this, with, reading 3 chapters a day, and then I had 1 left to read. So I read that one that day too. And then Linda, I think it took her a little bit longer. It was just hard at the end. I don't know why. The book made me feel kind of slumpy, which I'm sure is not the intention of the author. It was just that I guess my and her reading taste don't really totally align. And in the beginning, maybe there were more books that I'd at least heard of. Then again, maybe not. Maybe I was giving her more benefit of the doubt. But at some point, if someone keeps talking about books that you're not interested in, and they're not that interested, I mean, in a book, if you're having a real life conversation in real life, what am I even saying, between 2 friends, then that's not quite the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. It was just hard to finish this, so unfortunately this was one of my least favorite books that I read in April. And I mean, it was really nice to buddy read it with Linda and hear that she felt similar. It's not the best book to buddy read because sometimes you can't really talk a whole lot about certain chapters, if that makes sense. So Linda, maybe we can do another buddy read sometime with a book that we can talk a bit more about, and that we'll both hopefully enjoy more. But yeah, I have read other books about people who read books, if that makes sense. And the thing with a lot of them is that if I'm not that interested in the books they're talking about, I tend to like the book less. Which makes sense, but where are the memoirs of people who read some of the same books that I've read? Like, usually in the ones that I've read, it's often like classics and older books, and not that often more modern stuff, not that often things like fantasy and science fiction. It's more like literary fiction and classics and older stuff. The ones that I've read, don't get me wrong. And I haven't read any of them by Dutch authors. I don't know if it even exists. If it does, do let me know, because I might be interested in reading that, because I might recognize more books that a Dutch person read in their childhood. So yeah, this was not great for me personally, but other people might get more out of it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!